What's going on, everybody? So this is my second try for the first ride on the 450L, and so far so good. Everything seems great. I tried to take it out last weekend, but you all know I lost the camera, so I really barely rode it, but had a good day this Saturday. Rode with a new guy. This is our morning ride. In the afternoon, we went over to another spot and rode there, and rode with this guy. He was pretty cool. He had a big old DR650. He was riding street tires also. Not gonna lie, there were times where I kind of missed the rally. Not exactly sure why, but I definitely thought about it quite a bit, because I really enjoyed myself on the 450. I did wreck it again in a similar situation to that right there, but got a little up on the bank, and just, I don't know, no matter how hard I tried to pull away from it, I just kept leaning toward it and just laid it down. But Zach, he's having issues. His Tusk handlebars, he's bent them like 2 or 3 times, and got to a certain point last week on the last fall that they're bent so bad that they pull on his throttle cables when he turns left. So he's going back to stock bars, I would imagine, until a new set come in. I was thinking I was going to have to actually hop that log, but the water or something must have pushed it away far enough that it wasn't necessary. With the way that Zach went, eventually he's going to turn into a big sinkhole. There's just a tree falling, and the roots are just, you know, they're going to pull everything up. I love the come-uppance on the front end. You know, that 450 brings the front end up so easy. It's almost effortless, you know. Spend more energy trying to be careful about it than anything. Just a little blip, and you know, it's just jump right out from underneath it. I love it.
Hey, sticker tree.
I haven't gotten comfortable jumping it yet. Not exactly sure why. I've jumped it a few times, and I keep being pretty heavy, you know, pretty high on the front end. Accelerating too much. It's pretty slick back here in the morning. We left early to try and beat the heat. Zach had a birthday party to tend to in the afternoon. And we've been getting some spring showers in the middle of summer here, which is fun with me.
Hey,
yeah, you see there? Got slid sideways pretty good. But then that D606, it corrected, you know, quick enough. And the front tire, the Pirelli MT20 Orange, it does its job. I'll just say that.
Oh man, got it right in the whip.
Yeah, and good old Zach's D-Sport just gave me a mouthful of mud.
Funny, dude, I can't even get my front end to really lift up.
You hit me with a big wad of mud right in the lip.
Yeah, because the fucking tire's just spinning, dude. I can't get the front end to come
well, I mean,
up
you did clutch it a little hard.
First and second gear, like usually I can get second to pop right up, no problem. But I mean,
yeah.
I'm clutching it kind of hard because it's not clutching it enough isn't going to get it to go anywhere.
I don't know how many times I can say it, but that Durango is just, that's a shame. That's going to make that whole area a mess right there because there's a river that runs right underneath of it. And every time it rains, it just piles more debris up underneath of it like a dam. So eventually the river's going to go around it, and it's just going to be a mess.
I don't know if that was a mushroom or some kind of spike sticking out of the ground.
Tons of mushrooms lately.
Probably mushrooms. They're everywhere.
There's a guy that walks these woods and hunts the mushrooms, all the edible ones at least.
Don't stop now.
He usually does it on the weekends. Pretty cool dude. He kind of schooled us on the mushrooms, and I told him a little bit about ginseng.
Since I turned that auto up a little bit. Yeah. That's a good thing.
Yeah. I might have stalled it, 3 or 4 times today. And it was, my mistake for the most part, just not covering the clutch when I needed to and not being on the throttle enough. But it was because I was in a timid situation, usually climbing with the front end coming up. But I'm really liking the bike. I don't have any complaints, I'm a bit worrisome about the starter. I throw it neutral every time I start the engine. But I think it'll be just fine. Doesn't command the mud holes quite as good as the Rally. It just doesn't have that extra 100 pounds of weight, when you're pushing through it. It's just it's a little lighter, and you can tell, which I'm not complaining. It's just that's the subtle difference between the two when you're going through those big mud holes. And the sand, my gosh, all the rain we've had. This whole basin we're in right now was underwater and during that past hurricane. And the sandy rivers are just a mess. Very soft. Really don't know what to say about it. But you'll see right here, it pushes the sand right up the bank, and where the sand is dry, it's not too bad. But as soon as it starts to get wet, it's a mess. I drop off a dry ledge. Usually it's a lot harder packed. And that one's not bad. The next one down has got pretty beat up from the weather. These mud holes, if you hit them just right, you can go straight through them, but sometimes you catch a rut or catch a log in there and they can throw you for a loop. That one right there, if you don't go straight through the middle, you better go around it.
Good first gear engine brakes on this. I've been using my first gear a lot. When I'm trying to slow down, I just hit it in first gear and just pop the clutch right out.
Yeah.
And it just boom.
That's good.
You hit that, dude.
Challenge accepted. It's all washed out right there. I should have just went straight and hopped off the ledge here. It's only like 2 feet. I don't know why I went around. I'm just not that comfortable on the bike yet, I guess.
Yep.
But
first stall of the day.
Yep. That was the first one. And here I should have just went straight and launched off the bank. That's where I used to jump the Rally across the creek. But like I said, the sand in certain spots is just really a mess. I don't know. Hindsight, it seemed pretty cool.
Please tell me it was like that fucking big, dude.
It wasn't big at all.
I flicked him off me. Do you see him on the ground anywhere?
Zach said this got really deep, and he wasn't kidding. That storm really washed it out. It's usually about 4 or 5 inches deep right there where I went through the water, and it was almost 2.5 foot, close to 3 foot deep if you get stuck in the sand. As soon as my front tire hit the sand coming down this, it just swallowed it. Again, I should have just jumped off the ledge. Probably would have been better off because it's like sunk. Luckily, I was able to put some pressure on it and get it to go.
It's a little deep. Oh, yeah. The weight. Yep. It's a little deep. I mean, it's coming up to your pipe, you know? Is it? Yeah. Pretty deep. It's dripping off the pipe. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so I figure if I would have stood in it, it would have went over my boots. But it wasn't like super deep. I'm going to lead here for the rest of the ride. Then we're going to head to the next spot. I'll probably post that video in the next couple days. But here, it's all washed out and loose, and it's usually hard packed. That's where I jump over the creek right in front of me. A four-wheeler screwed up the spot to my left right there where I was climbing up the bank. I don't know if they just destroyed it. It's straight up and down now. It'd be like running into a 4-foot brick wall. That, and it looks like there's a tire down in there now. I guess the creek washed, the sand washed down the creek. And it's half buried. Crazy what a hurricane can do. Lazy Sunday. It rained all morning. Could have rode this afternoon, but I imagine it would have been real slick. Yeah, somebody finally cut this tree down, but they did a half-ass job, kinda. I hate to say that, but see how they left it stick out. It just takes away a little bit of your options on which ways you can go. I didn't have no problem. Zach switched up at the last second. And instead of going straight, he cut to the right like this. It seems like it's less steep, but it's real bumpy.
Awesome. Right up it, no problem, like he says.
Yep.
You good to go?
I need to get moving. My face is I'm sweating.
I hear you. Yeah, I might ride down in the gorge and try and ride back out.
Yeah, he got himself pretty overheated trying to get out of that little gorge he was just in. I understand that. When I'm hot, I do not want to sit still. I just want to get moving and get motivated.
Oh, this is like Francis.
Bought a new backpack with a camel pack in it, and it made carrying all that weight a lot easier. 'Cause usually I carry 3 or 4 bottles of water in my book bag, plus all my tools and air compressor and stuff like that, and made it a lot more comfortable. So I just got to keep on top of keeping it clean. I'm looking at it laying on the floor, still probably full of 2 pints of water. Knowing I've better take care of it. I don't know what it is with this spot here. I'm obsessed with trying to make more trail out of this area. There's nothing, you know, nobody ever comes back here. It gets pretty swampy a little bit further back, but this little crossing here, I don't know why. It's real challenging. It's the most challenge in the whole place. And not too many people other than us ride through it. We have some KTM guys that we haven't seen all summer. I don't know what happened to them. There's like 8 guys, and they've just been
That was easy.
off the radar.
Yeah, it was easy.
But they're the only ones I've ever seen go through this. It wasn't really due to flame out here. I just didn't accelerate hard enough.
Yeah,
Should have been slipping the
I
clutch.
think I just bogged it.
It actually took me 3 tries, but I left the middle one out because I just
Yeah.
didn't push it back far
The
enough.
stand-up's what got me.
Keep your feet on the pegs and get all that weight to the back wheel.
It was because I was standing. All that traction just digging down on the back tire.
Yeah, it dug me right out. Started the wheelie coming up it, and that's why I just let it stall. But this is a nice spot over here too. A lot of elevation change. You can make some nice jumps over here, natural ones. And this is like a 10-foot, 12-foot hill right here. And it's pretty darn steep. And the camera does none of these hills any justice. It's funny, the guy with the DR that we ride with later on in the day, he's like, when we get to the hill climbs in that afternoon, he can't believe how bad the camera is at showing the steepness of the hills. You know, like even this hill right here, you know, just going up this, you know, it's not very bad. It's 10 feet, but this one here is about 25 foot, and it is slick, off camber. It took me a long time to actually get up this, and it was more to do with the weather, you know, letting the hill dry out than anything. Because once the ground thawed from the winter time, there was no getting up it. Now the one guy with the 6 days KTM, he's got traction control and all that stuff. They were barely getting up it. But like I said, I haven't seen them since the weather broke. I don't know what happened. They're not riding none of the normal spots. Hard to say, because I was looking forward to, you know, taking a ride with them guys. Just change of pace. But they're off the radar. I don't know what happened to them. That's going to be pretty much it. Like I said, we got an afternoon ride. I'll have posted in the next few days. I'll probably start working on it this evening. And I'll talk to you guys later.